What is up, YouTube? It's the Jacked Crypto Guy, and in today's episode, I'm going to be covering the biggest mistakes that I see investors in crypto make. Now, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Realistically speaking, you're going to lose most of your money, but you're here anyway, and I'm going to try to help you guys at least leave this crypto bull run with a little bit of money. So the biggest issue that I see people fall into is either greed or they just have no strategy. All they do is they just kind of throw a dart and they buy everything because realistically speaking, it is easy to make life-changing money in crypto, but it's not very probable that you're going to keep it. Now, the same way that you're choosing to buy your cryptos, you need to have some sort of strategy to take profits. Now, obviously, that's not a very sexy topic, and a lot of people just, they kind of just YOLO this. And, there's a statistic where 90% of traders lose most of their money. And the reason being is because they're just simply new to the cycle, they're greedy, and they just don't know what they're doing, to be quite frank. Assuming that you've built a well-rounded portfolio, you want to first and foremost kind of familiarize yourself with these cycles of crypto and understand how fear and greed kind of play a role. Now, there's no shortage of metrics when it comes to, charts that you may see on X where you have all these sophisticated investors, but realistically speaking, most of these traders, they just got lucky, they made a lot of money, and it's a very corrupt place when it comes to taking advice and the KOLs that push certain narratives, or they just have like a thesis, whether they're bullish or bearish. And so it does make sense to obviously take all the information that you're getting, but take it with a grain of salt. And you always want to stick to your own thesis because it doesn't really matter what you're seeing and what you're digesting when it comes to the news. The only thing that matters is that you're okay with the decisions that you're making when it comes to investing in crypto. Assuming that you have a perfect portfolio, because I'm sure you do have one, and you're making all this money, the biggest mistakes that I see people make is number one, they do not take profits accordingly. And a good rule of thumb is you want to, assuming that you're making profits, you want to wait until your coin either does a 2 or 3x, at which point it's probably wise to consider taking your initial investment out. That way you just remove all the risk and you sleep a little bit better at night. Because I can tell you from years of experience and millions of dollars worth of investing lost, previously this is my third four-year cycle. So I've made literally every single mistake under the sun. And one of the biggest ones that I had was not taking profits or going to sleep feeling like I should, and then waking up to my net worth being pretty much cut by 20 or 30%. That is the worst feeling you can possibly feel, other than being liquidated, of course. Now, the biggest thing that I see people make is obviously they have no plan. Second, they start using leverage. Now, leverage is a very important tool if you know what you're doing, and I have only really used this tool to swing trade. So I typically will do a, relatively speaking, lower risk. So I don't go above maybe 4x leverage, and I always have funds left in the tank to add as collateral to help myself from getting liquidated. This works the best when we're in a uptrend because I like to do like Solana or Ethereum as the underlying asset that I am using as leverage. And so I'm ideally making profits in Solana, but I'm not using this as a high leverage scalping or anything like that. Most traders do get chopped up and most traders lose most of their money. So again, if you're not an experienced trader, do not leverage trade. The next topic that I'm going to be discussing that I see traders make is they leave all of their coins on centralized exchanges. I would never say actually to trust like something like Coinbase or Kraken or anything like that, but those do seem to be a little bit more safe, so to speak, when it comes to leaving your crypto on an exchange. I would never suggest that you guys do that. I think that you should treat exchanges like, just a means to an end. You want to buy your crypto on it, take it off, put it into cold storage to a wallet that you control. The worst thing you want to do is leave your crypto on an exchange and it goes belly under and you lose all of those funds, because in the disclaimer of any sort of centralized exchange, they can and will keep your crypto and they'll use it to liquidate their own funds and save their ass, and you'll be left holding no bag because you'll lose your entire crypto stack. So don't do leverage. Don't leave your coins on exchanges. Learn how to take profits. Now, another thing that I see a lot of people do is they tend to get very greedy and they think that they're a genius because obviously in a bull run, you can essentially throw a dart at any kind of crypto and it's going to go up for a little bit before it goes down about 80 to 90%. Last thing that you need to stop doing is thinking that every single time and every single cycle, it's different. It's usually not. Hindsight is always 20/20, and most traders leave with no profits. So don't always assume that this time is different. maybe consider leaving what we call moon bags. So let's say that you've made profits on all of your crypto. Just take out your initial investment, ride the rest, or obviously take out enough to cover taxes, which is not a sexy topic. So if this content helps you, feel free to smash the like, drop a comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see next. I'll see y'all soon.